Hey guys, this is your friend Trav. I'm hoping to be of some kind of help today. I want to talk about migraine headaches. I've suffered with migraines for most of my life, really, and and severely at times in my adult life. Um, yeah, I just wanted to talk to you about what that's been like for me and the progress that I've made over the years in working with those. Um, I'm not I'm not giving any medical advice here, and I know that everyone is different. All I can do is just talk about my experience, right? Just this is what it was like for me, and hopefully sometimes as we share our experience, it can be helpful to others. So my migraines present like they're not like the piercing headaches usually. Sometimes they have been so bad where they've made me vomit before. But generally, it's just kind of a dull headache with this. I'm nauseated, and there's a real fogginess. Like I can't hardly think straight. I might start shaking. Like I tried to stay at work one day with my migraines, and I was shaking so bad. I was trying to do ultrasound on a patient, and my hands were shaking, and they were like, "Are you okay?" you know. So anyway, that's kind of what mine are like. Very distracting, very difficult to be in the world when I've got them, and they come in clusters. They'll be for a time, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, where I'll get them a lot. I've medicated using Imitrex. I've also I can help them with caffeine and Tylenol. Excedrin will help them. But at some point, I mean, I was injuring my body with all the medications that I was taking. In fact, I had kidney disease at one point, stage 3B kidney disease, which is dissipated at this point. It no longer is. But anyway, that's what my situation has been like. So I've gone through times where I needed to stop taking the medication because I felt like it was really hurting my body. So the way that I found to help myself through is it's a meditative experience that I have. Usually I need to sit up. Like I'll find myself in the half lotus position, with my spine erect, and I think this just helps me to choose to focus, because when I'm laying down, I tend to just kind of get in this place where I'm just like, oh, I'm just kind of writhing, but the sitting up, it may not be very comfortable at first, but if I choose to kind of sit up, and I choose that focus, I choose to use my will, and I choose to use my mind for this meditative experience that I'm about to describe. But it's really just all about acceptance. I'm accepting the migraine, just for exactly what it is, because the migraines for me have been really tied up with a lot of emotional self-abuse. I don't know if any of you experience that too, but it's like the migraines would just speak of the terribleness of me and the terribleness of the world, and I just couldn't seem to escape that experience along with it. So a lot of the meditative practice has to do with choosing to be in my right mind, and to not allow those kind of thoughts to come. And then so I'm sitting in half lotus position. I do try to relax as much as it's not like a super rigid position or anything, but it is a position of attention, to where I choose to use my mind to focus on. I choose acceptance, and I actually choose forgiveness now. Like where I'm actually forgiving myself for having the migraine. I'm forgiving all of these any negative thoughts that might come. Because it's no telling me when I'm feeling sick, just all these kind of terrible ideas and sensations, just memories and stuff would come. So I really think it's more about like clearing. I view it now as an opportunity to kind of clear myself. Really, it's just this practice. Now it takes time. I mean, it's not something, obviously you can't do this at work, maybe, all the day, or if you got tasks that you're trying to do at the moment, you can't. This might not be it may be better just to medicate. But so there's this kind of this forgiveness process where I'm forgiving myself, I'm forgiving every thought, and then forgiveness to me has to, it really, and this is where this gets kind of esoteric or some kind of mystical a little bit, I guess. But like, I'm forgiving my migraine, I'm forgiving this sensation, and I actually will. This is my experience most recently, as I start falling in love with the sensation, right? I give this being that's having that sensation all of my love. And I think who is giving that love? I think what's happened really is in the meditative process, I've kind of come to a state where I'm embodying my true self, my higher self, right? My deeper self. And it is that being who begins, I think, forgiving, because who is having compassion on this man who is suffering from the migraine? That's really what starts to happen, is there's this being that I become who has compassion on this man who is suffering, right? And then who begins to even love and forgive the sensations. And this is like kind of this, it's kind of a strange mystical process or something. It seems to be happening in my being. And what will happen is it's almost like it's like the migraine's kind of still there, but I'm actually, it's like I'm seeing through it. It's like it's there, but it's not there. And I'm in this state, and I'm sitting up, and it seems miraculous when it happens. It feels very miraculous. I mean, if you've ever suffered, and then if you've, entering into a state of consciousness where this affliction that has caused so much suffering in your life, where all of a sudden it seems to be dissipating. I mean, I feel like a miracle worker when that's happening. In fact, I do believe that it's a miracle that's happening. I think it's a miracle of forgiveness, I think that choosing to forgive helps us to come to a different state of consciousness. And like I said, this is the result of years and years of practice experimenting with this. And I'll go through some times where I commit, I'm like, I'm not taking any medicine. But I think for me, I had to find a real gentle place within myself. I couldn't be like forcing myself to not take the medicine, like, you're not going to take the medicine, because I tried to like muscle through this stuff before. Like I said, I've stayed at work before and tried to, to do that. And it was just, for me, the process must be very gentle, very nurturing, very kind, very helpful, like where I'm allowing this helpful being to arise from within to assist this one who is suffering. And that's kind of what it's like for me. And a lot of times what will happen is, that process now can happen in like 10, 15 minutes. And it's beautiful, because it feels like so much more than a cure, because it's not a cure. I think that's the thing. This is a really important point, is that if we're resisting the migraine, if we're trying just to do things to fix it, then that's a form of resistance. And generally what we resist persists, right? But this isn't a resistance practice. This is not so much for a cure as it's an acceptance of what's going on, and a loving and a forgiving of oneself as one is experiencing this very painful and disturbing process, right? So there's that. I feel like that's a really important part of it. Is it's not about fixing it; it's about accepting it and loving it, and just having compassion for that one who is suffering, that part of us, that body. And I think, what's happened over the years is through the meditative practices and forgiveness practice and all these different spiritual practices that I've done, is that what's happened is I'm beginning to embody this deeper self. And so I hope that somehow this has been helpful for you today. I'd love to enter into dialogue with anybody who would like. About these things. I'm interested in healing, and I know other people have wonderful ideas about this type of stuff too. You have your own experiences, and like I said, I'm just sharing. This is just my experience. This is what it's been like for me, And I'm so grateful to have this to share with you today. So, bless you, my friends. Bless you. Yes.